زواج مبارك النكاح من سنتي ما قال النبي هو الصحيح نكاح مبارك نكاح مبارك زواج مبارك النكاح من سنتي ما قال النبي هو الصحيح نكاح مبارك
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to a new episode where we will continue to talk about the topic marriage and divorce. With me is Sheikh Haitham Al Haddad from the UK. He is a member of the Islamic Sharia Council of Britain. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Last episode, you started to give the introduction about compatibility when it comes to looking for marriage.
Yeah.
You gave a short introduction, so we'd like to, inshallah, take a point and expand on it.
Yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. If you remember, we said that, if our brothers and sisters also remember, we said that with regards to the issue of compatibility, people were divided into two extremes, two opposing extremes. One extreme that says that we don't need any kind of compatibility. And on the other side, another extreme that says we need to be compatible all the time. Yeah, in all aspects. Okay, is it clear?
Clear.
Okay, now everyone will claim that he has the middle ground. But what is the middle ground? In order to understand the middle ground, we have to understand something important. That in general, women can adopt with reasonable men. Yeah? Women, subhanallah, by their nature, they can adopt with reasonable men. Reasonable, yani average men. Even with maybe some men who are bit different to them, or sometimes extremely different to them. MashaAllah, Allah Jalla wa Ala has given women this ability. Now, if someone were to ask, where did you get this from? How did you confirm this? There are some studies about this issue, but look at it from another angle, other than the scientific studies. Now, the man is the one who, generally speaking, proposes to a woman. Yeah? They go and meet, according to the Islamic way. They go and meet. When they go and meet, how many times do they meet? If he looks at her and he's satisfied with her, he can go and proceed. What Sharia says is that the wali, the father or the guardian, will ask his daughter or his sister, are you happy with this man? Okay, this is the Islamic way. Now, she sat with him once, she saw him once. She did not have a long relationship with him in order to what? To understand him fully.
As a person.
As a person. Okay? Now, if she is in general, okay, happy with him, she will keep silent or she will say yes. Now, this is the Islamic procedure. Briefly, we'll discuss it in details more. Now, Islam didn't say that they have to have a long period of relationship prior to marriage in order to check about the compatibility. Man is new to the woman, and the woman is new to the man. And by just one meeting, two meetings, but looking at her, he liked her, she just accepted him. This is enough for the marriage. Can you see the philosophy of it?
Yeah.
And I want our brothers and sisters to look at this issue, because there are many people who ask, they say, I need to know my fiancé or my potential husband or my potential spouse. How do you need to know him? No, I need to know him firsthand. I have to have first-hand access to him. Just by looking at him or by looking at her and spending 5 minutes or maybe half an hour, okay, or 2 meetings wouldn't be enough, or asking about him wouldn't be enough. I need to know him in order to check the compatibility. This is a common question, and this became the norm in preparation for the marriage. Now, Islam doesn't accept this. And we will see that engagement or khutuba, yeah, having a fiancé, it doesn't mean that they are halal to each other. It doesn't mean that they can spend time, they go, they travel, and they go to restaurants for, yeah, together.
And this happens these days.
Which happens these days. Why it happens? They have this notion of what? Of compatibility. In order to know my potential life partner, I have to know everything about him or her in order to check the compatibility. And this is a false statement. And we have explained that because the Islamic procedure is totally different from this, it means that a man can really live with a woman. Yeah?
Yeah.
And, you know, the arranged marriages that are common in certain cultures, you know, in the subcontinent and some other cultures. Not forced marriages, arranged marriages.
Big difference.
Yeah, big difference between forced marriage and arranged marriage. Those arranged marriages, they are successful. We see them in our community. They are successful. It is true that they might fail. Anything might fail. Even the person whom you know might, okay, the marriage might fail. In fact, I don't want to confirm any specific statistics because I have just casual study, casual observation, that when the man knows the wife for a long period of time before marriage, first of all, it is, in most cases, they don't get married. Yeah? Because what? Because he will see something that he doesn't like. She will see something that she doesn't like.
They find out too much.
They find out too much. Yeah? This is one thing. The other thing, if someone were to say that this can happen even if they get married, this can happen. No. If they get married, they feel what? That they are committed, attached into the contract, into the marriage. Allah Jalla wa Ala says, وَأَخَذْنَا مِنْكُمْ مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا. And they have taken from you a heavy covenant. So the marriage is a heavy covenant. It's not any kind of covenant.
Something precious. You can't just
something
get out
precious
of it
and strong. So when the person feels that he is now committed to this person, he will find a way to live together. Yeah?
You sort of forces yourself to try and get over the problem.
Exactly.
Overcome it.
Exactly. Yes? And this is a very key point for having a successful marriage. Now, if the person feels that, well, I am having a relationship with this person to know him or to know her, the minute you find something that you don't like, the minute it will come to your subconscious that I can go freely. I can go freely.
Before making that big decision.
Before making that big decision. Same thing with their families, by the way. Yeah?
Yes.
For example, the boy, he's going with this girl, his fiancée, and then he's coming back at the end of the day to his father, and he said, you know, my fiancée, she told me about her background, and that she knew other boy. Immediately the father will say to him, just leave her. You are not happy, just leave her.
This is the time to do it.
This is the time to do it. Okay? This is one thing. The other thing is, this long relationship before marriage, yes, before marriage, before the actual nikah, the actual aqd, yeah, might lead to haram. And I have so many stories of people fell in haram during this relationship. Now, once they fall in haram during this relationship, many men, yeah, they will be pushed away from their fiancés. Why? Because he says, she allowed herself to sleep with me and I am not her husband. She's an irresponsible lady. She acts in a very reckless way. I can't trust this lady. Later on, she will sleep with other men.
Do you think, from society, from your experience, is this a problem because it's almost the fault of the family? Do you ever find a situation where the family have dragged it out for a long time?
No, see, we will discuss this issue of khutuba. The Shar'i term is khutuba. Engagement might not reflect the reality. Engagement means, or khutuba means a promise to get married. Yeah? A promise to get married doesn't mean that this man is allowed to have khalwa, seclusion, touch, travel, talk in a casual way, use romantic expressions with this lady because she is just completely a stranger. Yeah?
Yep.
So whether you have this as a long period or short period, if you observe the Sharia rulings, then it's fine. But when you make it as it happens in certain cultures, they go together in order to know each other, blah, 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 yeah? And then the longer this period is, the more problems are generated because of this kind of relationship. The negative effect of this kind of relationship prior to marriage to check the compatibility is that it is a period where everyone is showing his best, the best of him or her, yeah, in terms of the way they dress, the way they behave, the way, okay? Then when they get married, they see the reality of each other, then they will be shocked.
SubhanAllah. It's right. But in terms of this, then we find that this causes problems for the marriage. Like you said, it makes it more likely that it will be unsuccessful.
Yep.
SubhanAllah.
Yep.
Inshallah, we will continue this after the break. Please join us where we will continue the discussion about compatibility in a relationship. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to this episode where we shall continue the discussion with our Shaykh Haitham Al Haddad on the point of compatibility between two people before marriage. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Let's continue from where we left off in terms of compatibility.
Yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. If you remember, we said that, if our brothers and sisters also remember, we said that with regards to the issue of compatibility, people were divided into two extremes, two opposing extremes. One extreme that says that we don't need any kind of compatibility. And on the other side, another extreme that says we need to be compatible all the time. Yeah, in all aspects. Okay, is it clear?
Clear.
Okay, now everyone will claim that he has the middle ground. But what is the middle ground? In order to understand the middle ground, we have to understand something important. That in general, women can adopt with reasonable men. Yeah? Women, subhanallah, by their nature, they can adopt with reasonable men. Reasonable, yani average men. Even with maybe some men who are bit different to them, or sometimes extremely different to them. MashaAllah, Allah Jalla wa Ala has given women this ability. Now, if someone were to ask, where did you get this from? How did you confirm this? There are some studies about this issue, but look at it from another angle, other than the scientific studies. Now, the man is the one who, generally speaking, proposes to a woman. Yeah? They go and meet, according to the Islamic way. They go and meet. When they go and meet, how many times do they meet? If he looks at her and he's satisfied with her, he can go and proceed. what Sharia says is that the wali, the father or the guardian, will ask his daughter or his sister, are you happy with this man? Okay, this is the Islamic way. Now, she sat with him once. She saw him once. She did not have a long relationship with him in order to what? To understand him fully.
As a person.
As a person. So the key issue is, okay, we don't need a long relationship between the marriage in order to check the compatibility. Which means that, generally speaking, any decent man can live with any decent woman and they can adopt to live together. And this is what we have seen. I've been married for a number of years. I know many friends been married number of years. I didn't know my wife prior to marriage. Okay. I asked about her. She's the sister of my friend. I know about her brother. I asked a few things. I sent my mother to ask about her. I did some homework about her. Generally speaking, the background was okay. Then I can continue. Okay. Now, see, no one would say that the person that I want to spend my entire life with, of course, you cannot say that I will spend my entire life with this person because Allah knows how long you are going to live, how long she's going to live, or how long you are going to live together. But, as they say, life partner. We don't need to be compatible from all aspects in order to live together. Otherwise, where is tolerance?
Exactly.
You tolerate someone whom you disagree with. You don't tolerate someone whom you agree with.
Actually, this might even be a benefit in the relationship. If you have a few differences, it makes it more interesting.
Exactly. It will not make it boring because you are experiencing new things.
Exactly.
Yeah? And I know some people, they purposely are looking for spouses from different backgrounds in order to experience something new in their life. And it works. So we have this conclusion. We have to be careful about what we mean about compatibility. Yeah? And the second important rule is, in certain cultures, compatibility means something. In certain other cultures, compatibility means something else. For certain individuals, compatibility is something, and for certain other individuals, compatibility is another thing. I'll give an example. One of the aspects of compatibility is age. If I am 40, for example, I want to get married, I don't go for a sister who is 18, 19. There might be an incompatibility issue. Similarly, yeah, if I am a man, 20, it is very unlikely, or there might be an issue of compatibility to marry a woman of my mother's age. Yeah, 50 or 45. It can happen. It can happen. I came across some cases. I remember there was a case of a sister. She came with her husband. She's 40 plus and her husband is around 20. I have a few cases, in fact, like this. Yeah? And that case, that particular case, the problem was not the relationship between both of them, but the problem was between the husband, who was around 20, and his stepson, the children of his wife from the previous marriage. Because those children, they were of the same age. So those children, they started to look at this boy, this man, who's of similar age, as a man married to their mother. So that was a problem. But she was fine with him. She was fine with him. Anyway, so the issue of compatibility with respect to the age, it might work for some people, it might not work for some other people. So they need to look at it carefully. Yeah? And they need to consult other members of the family in order to check regarding the compatibility issue. Because sometimes out of love and maybe lust, yeah, they just rush into the marriage.
They need
And
someone to
exactly,
advise them.
to apply certain checks and balances.
Yeah.
Our brothers and sisters, they have to think about this carefully, not only think about this, as we said, but they need to consult. They need to consult their parents, they need to consult the extended family. Moreover, they need to check the other side, because maybe the other side, for example, a man who's 40-something, he wants to get married to a young girl, she's of the age of his daughters, yeah? But maybe, in terms of age, she's very young, like his daughters, but she's very mature. Can it work? It might work. And the opposite. A man who's 20, 21, 22, a boy. Yeah, these days, those people are just boys. Can he get married to a lady of 45? It depends. It might work. So each case has to be taken into consideration. And as I said, they have to consult the elders. They have to consult the larger network, and they have to be fair with themselves, not just to be overtaken by the urge to have a partner from the opposite gender. Otherwise, the decision will not be a mature decision. The decision will be motivated by external factors that are not...
Something that might be temporary.
Exactly, yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
Jazakallah. Sheikh, I think now, moving on from the age, we have, I think, which is very common, especially in the UK, culture.
Yeah.
Culture differences. We have about a minute left, so if you could maybe give a very short introduction for the next episode about the culture issue.
Yeah. First of all, what do we mean by culture? Cultural differences. We know the word cultural. Cultural, all aspects of our social, political, educational life that influence our personalities. Yeah? As they say, that the human being is a reflection of his culture. He will be influenced by his culture. Okay? We are not saying the citizenship. There is a difference between culture and citizenship. Citizenship is a political affiliation. It has nothing to do with the culture. Maybe some citizens might be influenced by certain cultures, but we have to be clear that we are not talking about citizenship. We are talking about cultural background.
So kind of more of a way of life.
Yes, yes.
Inshallah, Sheikh, I think we'll stop there for today. That's a good introduction for the next episode, which I hope everyone will join us for the discussion to discuss the cultural differences and how important that is when we think about the compatibility between two people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نكاح مبارك زواج مبارك النكاح من سنتي ما قال النبي هو الصحيح نكاح مبارك There is joy, there is happiness in this union, let there always be bliss. Allah will bless your home with light, your heart with never-ending delight. Two worlds today have now become one. The road ahead is as bright as the sun. Oh Allah, keep this marriage so strong. In your hands does the future belong.